suspensions, records, and more on your August update right after this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching. I'm glad you're watching. I'm Caroline Haney with 5 Things Sports, here with your August update, bringing you up to speeds on stories that I've told you about previously. If you've missed any episode in August, you can check out the August playlist. It will be at the end of the episode, a link, and there will be a link in the description below. First up, in our August 9th episode, I told you about Cristiano Ronaldo, the Real Madrid superstar, being suspended for 5 games after he pushed a referee. Real Madrid actually appealed the suspension, however, it was still upheld. As of the recording of this episode, Real Madrid has played 4 of the 5 games without Ronaldo, and in those games they have won 3 and tied 1. Now, I won't get into it in this episode how you should never end a game in a tie, but I will say, in terms of wins and losses, it doesn't look like Real Madrid has suffered a lot from the suspension. They, however, probably have suffered some in terms of ticket sales, but it looks like they're doing all right, and I guess we've all moved on now. And number 2, also in that August 9th episode, I told you about Usain Bolt losing his final 100 meters race in his career. Well, the World Championships didn't improve much for the former fastest man, as he went on to collapse in the 4x100 meter finals. This was supposed to be the final race of his career, and he went down with some type of leg injury. So this somewhat painful end to his career has really not shaken his faith in his records at all. Just this past week at an event in Japan, Bolt said this about his records: "I think they are going to last a while. I think I have at least 15 to 20 more years." I'm glad to see that fall didn't break his confidence at all. Of course, whenever his records do get broken, we'll be here to tell you about it. And number 3 this week, in our August 13th episode, I told you about Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott receiving a 6-game suspension from the NFL for off-field conduct. Elliott did appeal the suspension, however, it was just announced yesterday that the suspension was upheld. This is not the end of the saga by any means. On August 31st, at the end of the appeal hearing, before a decision was even handed down, Elliott and the Players Union filed suit in federal court against the NFL in an attempt to vacate whatever decision was to be handed down eventually. They also filed a restraining order against the NFL, which, if approved, Elliott would be able to play in any games between now and when their suit is heard in court. Obviously, NFL games start this weekend, and there won't be another episode to let you know if Elliott is able to play, but we will keep you posted in the future as this continues to play out. Number 4 this week, in the August 20th episode, I told you about Giancarlo Stanton of the Miami Marlins and how he has been on fire this season at the plate, and his streak has definitely continued. As of this recording on September 7th, he has hit 53 home runs this season and is on pace with Roger Maris to at least tie his record. This is the most home runs in a season by a player since 2013. And Stanton also became the 3rd player in MLB history to have more than 18 home runs in a calendar month. As the MLB season starts to wrap up and we head to the playoffs, I will keep you posted on where Stanton finishes out the season. And number 5, I told you about the Kyrie Irving Isaiah Thomas trade deal in the August 28th episode. However, the deal wasn't finalized due to lingering effects of an injury Isaiah Thomas sustained near the end of the last season. However, I can now report that the trade has been finalized. The Celtics had to give the Cavaliers an additional 2020 draft pick. It will be interesting to see what kind of effect these players have on their new teams this season, and to see who won the trade deal overall, since the Celtics had to give up so much to the Cavs to get Kyrie Irving. And in overtime, in the second ever episode of 5 Things Sports, which came out way back on July 23rd, I told you about Nike unveiling the new uniforms for the NBA. They have now released the new designs for each team, both the home and away jerseys. The folks over at AO Sports have put together a video with all of the team's jerseys so that you can see them all. There'll be a link in the description below for you to check out the full video, and be sure to go over there and tell them that you came from 5 Things Sports. That's all for this month. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed an August episode, you can check the playlist out right here. If you missed last week's episode, you can check it out right here. If you are new to 5 Things Sports, we would love it if you would subscribe, and I will keep you up to date with 5 sports highlights each and every week. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Caroline Haney with 5 Things Sports, and I'll see you next week.